Hey guys, it's Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com, and today's video is going to be on utilizing different types of bar implements in the gym, some ones you may need to buy or some ones you may need to look out for at your local gym. So let's get to it and let's get you educated on why you use certain bars and what they're good for. The first bar that we're going to go over is basically just a single-handed fat bar. Now we make these at winningstrength.com. They're extremely heavy duty. You could run this over with a semi and you're still going to be able to pick it up and use it. We try to build everything like that on the website so that you guys can use it for multiple generations. But the reason that you want to use a handle like this is because you don't have to do extra grip work if you have a 2.5 inch thick handle. So we would use this handle for something like this. Basically a bent over row. You could use a cable. You could use even some weights tied to it. I like to use my belt squat for it, but this fat handle can be used in all kinds of different ways, but we like to use it for a row. Fat handles are amazing. They make your hands insanely strong. So let's look at another fat handle. The next one we'll use is something like this. I call this the reverse V-lat pull down. Now it's a very similar thickness to the single arm handle that I just showed you, but it has a turned up section here. Now, there was an old bodybuilder that actually used to make a bar like this back in the 50s and said that it developed his lats like crazy. So why not remake it and make old new again? So that's what we did, but we did it fatter. And the reason I like it fatter, again, is because sometimes we're crushed for time. If you read a lot of the stuff that we do, you don't have more than about an hour to train. So if you can attack more things from different avenues, then you're at a huge advantage to not overtraining based on time. So what we'll do is we'll grab it out here. As you can see, it turns my hand in a weird way, and then we're doing lat pull downs. So by my hand having to be turned up like that, it puts a lot more pressure on my lat. More pressure on my lat in an awkward situation is going to create a lot of strength. Now, my hands are going to get insanely strong as well. So we'll use heavy weights with this, and what I started to find is, with a normal barbell or normal implements, my grip is never an issue using fat handles. So let's go look at what we could do maybe with the cable and look at some different things that you may need for your home gym or a gym you're thinking about joining. The next one is your basic rope. Now, these are in most gyms, but a lot of people don't use these correctly. And like I said, this is kind of basic stuff, but I wanted you guys to see this in case you're a beginner or intermediate. There's all kinds of ways you can use this. What I like about the rope is the fact that you can move and separate. So as you're doing push down, I can fan it out. A normal bar, I wouldn't be able to do this with. So a rope is very, very good at doing that. I can also stay in super close, and then I can use it for face pulls and fan out away from my face. So if this was a straight bar, I'd already be tagging my forehead. With a rope, it gives me a little bit of fan point to actually get more range of motion while I'm attacking my rear delts. Great for posture if you have a seated desk job. The next one that most gyms have is a easy curl bar. Now what I like about this bar is it tends to put a little less pressure on your wrists, but it also gives you a lot of options. So if you look here, the reason I have this particular model is because right here is about where I bench press. I'm a fairly narrow bench presser, although I've benched over 600 multiple times. But what I like about this bar is it actually rotates, so it can turn. That keeps my wrist neutral. So you'll see when a lot of people do this, they're rolling their wrist, they're doing weird shit. Squeeze your forearm and lock your wrist straight and turn your knuckle, keeping your wrist locked. So if you have a wrist issue, well, if you're not bending it, chances are you should be able to do it. The other thing that I like about this bar and the angle in which it's bent is that if I turn it backwards, which obviously you see it won't stay there, if I turn it backwards, now it gives me a good position for reverse grip. This is an exercise you don't see a lot of people doing for triceps, but it's huge in developing the tricep area and reducing mileage. So turning my hands backward is amazing for keeping my wrists healthy and also attacking my tricep at an angle that normal stuff just doesn't do. So having an easy curl bar that has a ability to spin is huge in order to creating some tricep strength, but you can also do curls. I'm not a huge fan, but like upright rows, and it allows it to twist and turn, and it gives you multiple different grips instead of it just being straight across. The next one is your basic swivel D-handle. Now a swivel D-handle is good because it's going to separate the left and the right side. Now for a lot of us watching this video, our left and right side have immense imbalances. Some people, if you were to have them do say tricep push downs, could do say 15, 20 with the right and only 16 or 14 with the left. If that's the case, you're going to have a big problem trying to get your bench to come up because you're only as strong as your weakest side. So having a D-handle like this to separate left and right is a massive tool in order to make you super strong. So make sure that you have one of these in your toolbox. The next one is a grenade handle. So it looks like a grenade, right? So I'm gonna throw it at my friend and watch him get blown apart. No, but it actually looks like that. So what you're gonna do is you attach this to the cable, and now it gives your hand a completely different feel when you're doing push downs. Now my favorite thing to do with the grenade handle is to do it cross body. That means the cable is on the right side of my body, but I'm using the left arm. And when I do this across my body, there is really no way I can cheat. Versus if I'm doing it forward, I can roll my shoulder into the movement to help. By going cross body with a grenade handle, there is no help. It's all tricep. So I find that a grenade handle is insanely important for what you need to do in your gym to isolate the area. Because for a lot of us, we don't have a coach, and sometimes we got to pick exercises that we can't screw up. So a cross body with a grenade handle is huge, but you can also use it for face pulls. I'll put it between my middle and ring finger, and I'll do pulls this way. The grenade handle just has a completely different feel than a normal handle, so they're very, very nice to have. The next thing that you've seen in some of my videos, and we made this with pieces from Home Depot. As you can see, it's a Schedule 80 PVC pipe, 2.5 inches around, and we drilled an eyelet through it. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want to use this with 600 pounds, but with something moderate, it's totally strong enough. What I like about this is I'll do it thumbless, and I'll do push downs this way. With that handle being that fat, my hand has to work a little harder, and it seems to be easier on my wrist. So again, fat handles are the way to go. I think you could make that for about $4 at Home Depot. No big deal, right? The next one is like a sawtooth pull down. You won't see this at very many gyms. Spud Inc. sells this. It's a pretty interesting little piece, but it gives you a lot of variation on how wide or narrow you want to go. But what I like about this is it creates traction in my wrist. So if you have like carpal tunnel or some kind of a hand problem, or maybe you just use too much arm to do your lat pull downs, this is a great tool. Now I don't even have to hold the weight. It's just wrapped around my wrist, and now I'm doing pull downs without having to grip my hand. The nice thing about that, again, is if I have a wrist issue, carpal tunnel, or maybe even a finger issue, it's allowing me to do lat pull downs and take away my hand from the particular movement. So I hope this helps. There's a lot more bars that you could use. There's a lot more implements that we can't go over in one small video, but maybe this gives you some different ideas on how to train smarter and train better. So please go on Patreon if you have any questions, and we'd be more than happy to try to help you navigate training and navigate your gym. Thanks for watching, and visit wenningstrength.com.